question for you. What you've seen in this progress discussion around securing IP voice networks or VoIP networks. So security in VoIP networks, is it a life insurance policy or is it a commerce enabler? Any ideas? Most people think, security is an insurance policy in case something happens. Well, I'll give you the answer. It's both. It is insurance, absolutely. I mean, Tom, Eric, and I hopefully give you little dimensions on the risk component, the R word we use multiple times. At the same time, think about yourself that part of your differentiation, not only are your services going to be advanced and flexible and all that neat stuff that NGN promises, but if you can do it with integrity. How many of you have purchased something online, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, eBay, and you got that little thing in there, it says VeriSign protected, and you kind of have that warm and fuzzy that your credit card and that magic 4-digit code and all that is being maintained and protected that you don't get from other places. Well, think about that part of differentiation as a commerce thing. The integrity of your not only your voice calls, what images you transfer, where you are, presence, big thing in NGN, is kept secret for those who you don't want it. That can differentiate you from brand X. So anything? Yes.
Have you guys actually seen any real threat vectors show up based on some of the scenarios done in on the website, like around STID and rogue mine attachments to messages and things like that? Has there actually been a documented case of this stuff occurring?
I don't know if you mentioned MIME attachments. I don't know of one in which there was something that was actually carried in the network traffic. The biggest issue that we're going to face initially is the same thing we do with any technology, is that the applications that are running this stuff, the protocols on which they're running, have not had a lot of running time out in the world at large. And people are not perfect, and there are issues with both protocols and the implementations of the protocols. If you look at the laundry list of H323 vulnerabilities that sort of have been shaken out as we sort of move through this, SIP vulnerabilities, we seem to be sort of down the curve with asterisk, PBX vulnerabilities somewhat, but as any time we introduce a significant new technology for which a significant amount of new software is going to appear, it is going to have defects. The effects of those defects are going to be hard to estimate, but we can guarantee that at least on some level, those defects are going to be, some of those defects will be able to be weaponized in some way, and that they will be exploited. Some of them, we see are simple. But the thing we all have latched onto the Pena hack for minutes. The authentication mechanism they're using there for access to call traffic. It's very simple. But what happened is somebody spent enough time simply messing around with it to figure it out. They either sniffed traffic for a long time and say, no, I bet the access code to that or somewhat predictable. And then just powered the hell out of stuff with lots of different access codes until they found one that got through. The thing about the hacker community is that it's like a game of chess. They got a ton of time, they got a lot of moves. That if there's money to be made, they're going to get to it eventually. And it's not there's not a stopping point at which suddenly we're done and everybody's safe. There's always going to be something new, and as long as there's something new, we just simply need to be aware that we should have protections in place and expect that these problems are going to happen. The problem with the Pena case is that detection was hampered because the mechanisms that the carrier had in place to be able to see what was going on and to be able to chase it down were very limited. Sort of didn't really plan on that. So the story there is think about what you want to be able to have in place so that you can hear what's happening. Expect that people are going to be beating you up a bit. Expect that a compromise will happen, and be ready to deal with it when it happens.
want to.